Welcome back to my channel. Today we will learn about the issue currently unfolding on CBS's The Bold and the Beautiful. In the recent episodes of this iconic series, a series of explosive revelations and shocking family secrets have come to light that have sent ripples through the Forrester universe. This storyline, which weaves together past mistakes, hidden identities, and deep emotional scars, focuses on Remy, a young man determined to start fresh in Los Angeles after serving time in jail, and the discovery of a secret that shakes his very identity. Remy, who recently earned his freedom from prison, is making every effort to rebuild his life in Los Angeles and leave behind a troubled past marked by reckless actions. In his darker days, Remy had created explicit nude images and even manipulated photos of a woman named Electra to tarnish her reputation. His actions were driven by a toxic obsession and a desire to exact revenge, and they nearly led him to a long prison sentence. However, in a dramatic turn of events, Remy has come to regret those choices deeply. Now, determined to transform himself and build a new life, he focuses on starting anew in LA, finding work, and forging genuine relationships. Among the first bright spots in Remy's new beginning is his budding friendship with Luna, a woman whose reputation precedes her. Luna, despite being a notorious criminal with a past that includes homicide and other violent transgressions, is currently under house arrest at the residence of Bill rather than serving time in a conventional prison. Although the law keeps her confined to Bill's mansion, Luna's unique situation and her defiant personality have not kept her from forming connections. Remy, who is earnest and willing to trust in second chances, is not afraid of Luna's dark past. Instead, he welcomes the opportunity to befriend her. Their initial encounters are filled with a surprising warmth and a mutual understanding born out of shared struggles and the desire for redemption. As Remy and Luna grow closer, they begin to share their personal stories, laying their hearts bare in a world where every secret can be both a burden and a path to healing. Luna, who has lived with the stigma of being a hardened criminal, opens up about the pain and isolation that her past has inflicted upon her. In her candid confessions, she describes how the thrill of taking a life once provided her with a perverse sense of power, a rush that has haunted her every step. Remy listens intently, finding himself drawn into the depths of her troubled soul. Their connection, forged in the midst of adversity, blossoms into a friendship that brings a glimmer of hope into their otherwise bleak lives. Remy, despite his own past misdeeds and the consequences of his actions, sees Luna as someone in need of support and understanding. In return, Luna finds solace in Remy's willingness to offer her the chance to rebuild, away from the constant judgment of society. While Remy is busy laying the foundations for a fresh start, his personal life takes an unexpected turn when he receives a phone call that changes everything. Remy's long-lost mother, Sasha, contacts him with the exciting news that she is coming to Los Angeles for a visit. This call is a beacon of hope for Remy, a chance to reconnect with the only family he has ever known and to show his mother that he is making strides in his new life. Overwhelmed with joy at the prospect of reuniting with Sasha, Remy eagerly anticipates her arrival and looks forward to proving to her that he is on a path toward redemption. Determined to make her proud, Remy arranges for Sasha to join him for dinner at the renowned restaurant Il Giardino, a setting that promises sophistication and comfort, ideal for rekindling old bonds and forging new ones. At Il Giardino, fate has its own plans. As Remy and Sasha settle into their meal, the atmosphere of reunion is quickly disrupted by an unexpected and awkward encounter. Among the patrons at the restaurant is none other than Ridge, a long-standing pillar of the Forrester legacy and an influential figure whose presence commands respect. Ridge is immediately taken aback when he sees Sasha, Remy's mother, and recognizes her as his former lover. The realization of this connection creates an atmosphere of palpable tension and awkwardness. For a brief moment, time seems to stand still as old memories and past betrayals resurface. The reunion between Remy, Sasha, and Ridge is fraught with unspoken words and complicated emotions, as each person grapples with the remnants of a past that refuses to fade away. During this tense dinner, conversations flow tentatively as old wounds are reopened. When Ridge learns of Remy's age and listens closely to his recollections, a startling hypothesis begins to form in his mind. Reflecting on the timeline and the seemingly disparate pieces of Remy's story, Ridge comes to suspect that there may be a hidden connection between himself and the young man before him. The idea that Remy could actually be his biological son sends shockwaves through Ridge's heart and ignites a series of questions that cannot be ignored. With a mixture of hope and trepidation, Ridge decides to take matters into his own hands. He discreetly collects a hair sample from Remy, intending to have his DNA tested. The process, shrouded in secrecy and laden with the weight of decades of hidden truths, promises to reveal the answer that has been lurking beneath the surface all along. When the results finally arrive, they confirm what Ridge had long suspected: Remy is indeed his biological son. This revelation is both a vindication and a curse for Ridge. On one hand, it cements Remy's place within the storied Forrester family, connecting him to a legacy of wealth, influence, and complicated relationships. On the other hand, it throws into sharp relief the many years Remy spent in relative obscurity, growing up without the support and guidance that only a true father can provide. Ridge is torn between the joy of discovering a lost son and the sorrow of realizing that Remy has lived most of his life without knowing the truth about his origins. Despite understanding that Sasha had tried to keep this secret hidden for reasons that may have been rooted in shame, self-preservation, or the complexities of past relationships, Ridge believes that Remy deserves to know the truth. With great care, he decides to reveal his discovery to Remy, setting the stage for an emotional confrontation that will test the bonds of family and the resilience of a young man determined to forge his own identity. When Ridge finally discloses the truth to Remy, the impact is immediate and profound. Remy, who has spent his life battling the ghosts of his troubled past and striving to reinvent himself, reacts with a mixture of shock, anger, and disbelief. The realization that the man he had come to respect and admire as a benefactor is in fact his long-lost father is overwhelming. Remy's emotions boil over as he grapples with feelings of abandonment, resentment, and betrayal. Having grown up with a mother who struggled to provide for him and who kept him in the shadows of poverty, Remy cannot easily accept the fact that Ridge, who now represents everything he had hoped to be part of, lived a life of luxury and privilege, seemingly unaware of his existence. The revelation is not just a matter of familial connection, it strikes at the very core of Remy's identity, challenging everything he thought he knew about himself and the world around him. The confrontation between Remy and Ridge becomes one of the most pivotal moments in this dramatic arc. Ridge, with a heavy heart and a deep sense of regret, attempts to explain his side of the story. He recounts the choices he made in the past. Decisions that were driven by fear, ambition, or perhaps a desire to protect the family legacy from scandal, and expresses his sorrow for not having been present for Remy when he needed him most. Remy, however, finds it impossible to let go of the bitterness that has accumulated over the years. The pain of being left behind, of growing up in the shadows while his father enjoyed a life of comfort and success, fuels a fierce anger that threatens to sever the fragile connection that Ridge desperately wants to mend. Remy's anger is not solely directed at Ridge, it is also a reaction to the profound sense of injustice that has defined his life. The revelation that he is Ridge's son, while theoretically a cause for celebration, is instead a bitter reminder of a past filled with neglect and abandonment. The revelation also casts a long shadow over Remy's plans for the future. Having already struggled with his own inner demons and the fallout from his previous misdeeds, such as the scandal involving explicit images of Elektra, Remy is now faced with an identity crisis that forces him to reconsider everything. His journey toward redemption in Los Angeles, his efforts to build a better life, and the friendships he has forged, particularly with Luna, all come into sharp focus as he grapples with the truth of his parentage. For Remy, the choice is excruciating, Embrace the newfound connection with Ridge and integrate into the glamorous, yet morally ambiguous, world of the Forrester family, or reject the past altogether and continue his solitary struggle for redemption, free from the weight of a legacy he never asked for. This revelation also has profound implications for the entire Forrester family. Ridge's decision to reveal the truth about Remy's paternity threatens to upend long-standing alliances and challenge the established order within Forrester Creations. For decades, the Forrester legacy has been built on carefully guarded secrets, intricate family dynamics, and the delicate balance between loyalty and ambition. The news that a lost son has been discovered, and that his identity is intertwined with the very fabric of the family's history, forces everyone to reconsider what they thought they knew about their relationships and their future. Characters like Steffi and Brooke, who have long been pillars of the Forrester empire, now face the prospect of integrating a new, unanticipated element into their already complex world. For Steffi, the revelation is particularly painful. Having already borne the burden of watching her own family navigate crises and betrayals, she is now forced to confront the implications of Remy's true identity. The thought that someone she once regarded as an outsider, someone who grew up in poverty and struggled to find his place in a world of privilege, might now claim a right to the legacy of the Forrester family stokes old resentments and fears. Steffi, who has always been fiercely protective of her own children and determined to secure their future, cannot help but worry about the potential influence of Ridge's newfound son on the family's reputation and stability. The fear that the genetic legacy of neglect, abandonment, and perhaps even darker traits might be passed on to future generations leaves her with a profound sense of trepidation about what the future holds. Meanwhile, for Remy, the path forward is shrouded in uncertainty and heartache. The man who once sought only to escape a troubled past and build a new life in Los Angeles now finds himself at a crossroads, forced to choose between embracing a familial connection that has been withheld from him for too long or rejecting it out of pride and bitterness. The discovery of his true parentage is a double-edged sword. It offers the possibility of finally understanding where he came from and of forging a new identity that includes the love and support of a family he never knew, but it also serves as a painful reminder of all that he has lost along the way. Remy's internal struggle is intensified by the contrast between the life he has known, a life marked by hardship and solitude, and the opulent world that Ridge represents. The chasm between these two worlds feels insurmountable, and Remy's anger at the disparity only deepens his resolve to reject the past on his own terms. As the shock of the revelation begins to settle, Ridge is left to ponder how best to approach Remy with the truth he has uncovered. Ridge understands that the revelation could shatter the fragile progress Remy has made in turning his life around, and he is painfully aware that his own past mistakes have contributed to the pain Remy now feels. Determined to make amends and to bridge the gap that has separated them for so long, Ridge contemplates a heartfelt conversation, one in which he will lay bare the reasons behind his actions and express his sincere regret for not being there for Remy during his formative years. Ridge believes that, by sharing his own vulnerabilities and offering an olive branch, he might help Remy see that the discovery of their familial bond is not meant to inflict further pain but to pave the way for healing and reconciliation. However, Remy's reaction to the revelation is far from straightforward. When Ridge finally shares the truth with him, Remy is engulfed in a storm of conflicting emotions. His initial response is one of intense anger and betrayal. How could the man he had once admired and looked up to be the very father who abandoned him? The sense of injustice is overwhelming, and Remy's anger manifests in harsh words and tearful outbursts. He lashes out, questioning the motives of Ridge and expressing his deep-seated resentment for a past that has left him feeling unworthy and alone. The pain of growing up without the guidance and love that every child deserves is too raw to be easily soothed by a simple revelation. Remy's emotions oscillate wildly, between the longing for connection and the instinct to push away anything that reminds him of his abandonment. As the days pass following this monumental disclosure, the tension between father and son continues to build. The Forrester household is rife with uncertainty, as each member grapples with the implications of the truth. For Ridge, the hope is that time and genuine effort will mend the fractured bond with Remy. He plans to offer support, guidance, and, most importantly, unconditional love, hoping that Remy will eventually come to understand that his abandonment was not a reflection of his worth, but rather the result of complex circumstances that even Ridge now regrets. Yet, for Remy, the wounds are still too fresh, and the scars of a childhood marred by neglect and hardship remain a painful reminder of all that he has endured. The revelation of Remy's true paternity also raises critical questions about the future of Forrester creations. The discovery threatens to upend established power dynamics within the family and to force a re-evaluation of long-held alliances. With Remy now revealed as Ridge's son, the delicate balance between loyalty, legacy, and ambition becomes even more precarious. Old resentments and buried secrets are poised to resurface, and the complex web of relationships that has defined the Forrester dynasty faces a new, uncertain chapter. Every character, whether it is Steffi, Brooke, or even distant relatives, must now come to terms with the fact that the truth about their family is far more complicated than they had ever imagined. For Remy, the journey ahead is one of profound self-discovery and difficult choices. He must decide whether to embrace the painful truth of his origins and allow himself to become part of a family that has long been defined by glamour, power, and betrayal, or to reject that legacy altogether in favor of carving out a solitary path toward redemption. His internal struggle is emblematic of the larger themes that have always been at the heart of The Bold and the Beautiful, themes of love, loss, and the relentless quest for identity in a world where secrets and lies have far-reaching consequences. As we watch this dramatic saga unfold, one thing is clear: the revelation that Remy is Ridge's son is not just a personal turning point for him, it is a catalyst for change that will reshape the entire Forrester legacy. The delicate balance between past and present, between the pain of abandonment and the hope of reconciliation, hangs in the balance as Remy wrestles with the truth of his identity. Ridge's earnest attempts to mend the broken bond, though heartfelt, may not be enough to bridge the chasm of years of neglect and misunderstanding. The emotional fallout from this revelation is sure to influence every decision Remy makes going forward, from his personal relationships to his role within the family business. In the coming weeks and months, viewers can expect a series of emotional confrontations and transformative moments as Remy, Ridge, and the rest of the Forrester family navigate the turbulent waters of truth, betrayal, and redemption. Will Remy find it in his heart to forgive Ridge and embrace the family he never had? Or will the pain of the past prove too great to overcome, leaving him forever isolated in a world of his own making? And how will this revelation affect the intricate dynamics of power, loyalty, and ambition that have long defined the Forrester empire? Thank you for joining me as we explore this monumental and emotionally charged chapter of The Bold and the Beautiful. Stay tuned for further updates as the saga continues to unfold, a story where every revelation, every hidden secret, and every long-held lie reshapes the destiny of one of television's most beloved families. In this world of glamour and betrayal, the truth has a way of emerging when least expected, and when it does, it leaves an indelible mark on all who dare to confront it.